back to the Mulberry Book Drop. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Bethany.
I'm so excited for today.
Me too. I've been looking forward to this episode.
So have I.
Okay, good.
Tell me something good.
I have a new sister.
Yay!
My brother got married last weekend. So I officially have another sister.
That's so exciting. She's awesome too.
Oh, she is. She's great. And guess what, guys? Her name, as if it couldn't get any better, her name is Sarah. So there are now two Sarahs with my last name.
That's not going to be confusing at all.
At all. It's okay, guys. She doesn't spell it with an H. I do.
Ugh,
so, you know.
The drama.
So the H, you know, how to pronounce her name? Sarah. How to pronounce my name? Sarah. Don't you hear the difference?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I totally caught that.
Oh, good. Okay. What about you?
My something good is I actually have a friend of mine who got tickets to a couple of musicals. So she took me with her, so I got to go see Legally Blonde.
Ooh.
And I saw Fiddler on the Roof, which I had never seen before. So,
Ooh.
Yeah. But I have to tell you, Legally Blonde, I love the movie.
Same.
Musical was fantastic.
Yeah?
And what cracked me up even more, though, is walking in there and just seeing the sea of people wearing pink.
Oh.
Pink as far as the eye could see. It was like when I went to the New Kids on the Block concert, the mixtape concert a couple years ago, and everybody was dressed like they still thought it was the 80s. I mean, everybody was dressed like they were supposed to be on stage with
awesome.
those sorority girls. Like,
that's amazing.
It was so much fun. It was a blast.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really, really good. So, musicals, I love them.
They're gold.
Do you got anything funny you want to share again?
Yes, and you experienced it. So, do you remember, this was actually yesterday, Bethany was like, oh, I have to ask you a question. Duh. She starts asking me this question. I go to sit down in my chair, and I almost face planted into the counter. My life flashed before my eyes. And you were like, you just were stunned and stopped talking, and you were like, I didn't see anything. And I'm like,
it's kind of like when we all like trip as we're walking somewhere and we're like, you didn't see that, right?
And
I tripped on nothing.
100%, y'all. I almost face planted into the counter. I don't know who would have gotten more damage, me or the counter.
I don't know, because I thought your forehead was going to hit that counter. I don't know how you caught yourself.
For sure. So note to self, be extra careful when sitting down in a chair.
Especially when the chair's on wheels.
Yes. Especially when it's on wheels, guys. Oh, what about you?
So, you know how I mentioned we've been playing tennis?
Yes.
And we're still not very good, but, like, we're having a blast. So for Christmas, my husband and I decided we were going to make shirts for the group of us that are, like, regulars.
Fun.
And as a joke, we always call it tennising club. So it's, like, tennis-ing. So it's just, like, really bad grammar. But that's what the shirt says. So it says tennising club. But there is also, like, a racket, and it's, like, missing the ball. So it's, like, it's really funny. So we wore them a couple of times, like, when we've actually been at the court. And it's amusing because people are, like, trying to read them. Like, trying to figure out why we're all wearing these matching shirts. So the one day I went to go pick one of the balls up because, of course, I missed. And this guy was, like, leaning on the fence from one of the other courts. And I could see him. And he's, like, looking across like he's trying so hard to read one of our shirts. And then he saw me. And he, like, did a quick, like, spin around. Like, nope, I wasn't looking at all.
You should have been like, yeah, I'm famous.
Yeah.
Stop staring.
Well, and apparently my one son wore his to school accidentally. Like, he didn't even realize what shirt he put on the one morning. They get up at, like, 5 a.m. Our bus is, like, so early. And I guess, like, all day people were like, what is this club? What are you...
Oh.
So I was like, it's a very exclusive club.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question, because I know there are bowling leagues. Are there tennis leagues? I would assume.
I mean, there's definitely tennis clubs. Like, you know, there's ones that you actually have to join. I mean, we just play at a court in Lakeland that's just open, and, you know, we just go in and horse around. But
I'm sure you guys are better than you think you are.
There's no video evidence to prove yay or nay.
Okay.
So, but listen, either way, I get a workout sometimes from hitting the ball, and sometimes I get it from doing squats when I pick it up off the ground every time.
There you go.
You know, it's all...
Good way to look at it.
It is. And, you know, my abs get a workout from laughing, so it's all a win. All right. Let's go check in with Rick real quick. Hey, Rick. How are you?
Fine. Good morning. How are you?
Good. We're excited to have you over at the library with us today.
I'm excited to be here.
What do you think of the new cabinets going in the pavilion?
Oh, they look really good. These guys did a nice job.
Yeah. What else is going on in the city? Anything you want to tell us?
Well, we had Pigapalooza last weekend. You guys were, as usual, instrumental in helping to get that thing going, and that was a great success for everybody here. We raised an additional about between 20 and 21,000. We're still doing the final accounting, and I believe the first meeting in April we'll be giving out the checks to the nonprofits that we do, the Boys and Girls Club and the Little League Baseball, etc. All those folks will get some checks.
Wow, that's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How was the kids' queue? Did you get to see it?
I got to judge it.
Oh.
That was wonderful.
That's so cool that they did that. I saw the pictures. It was really neat.
Yeah, it was really cool watching them. They were having a lot of fun, and some of those kids could really cook.
That's amazing. I love it. So this month, I decided I wanted to talk about some binge-watching books that were made into TV shows. So I'm curious, do you have any favorite books that they've made into TV shows?
Well, I do. They just did on Amazon Prime. They did started the first Reacher book, and I know they just wrapped filming the second one. They didn't go in sequence, but they just wrapped that. I think a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And that's due out, I think, later this year. And that was actually I think it was their number one rated Amazon Prime series that they put out.
They did a great job with casting that one.
Yeah, that guy's amazing.
I loved it.
And the Bosch series, which is now gone over to, went from Amazon Prime to Freebie, I think. But that's still going. And they've done a great job with that as well. Okay. I watched that before I started reading the books, but that put me onto the books. Mm-hmm. Michael Connelly books.
Yeah, that's cool. Very exciting. You got anything else or anything we're looking forward to?
Well, we're still working on Depot 303. They're working on the demolition and the new municipal complex. The design build conceptual thing is going out to bid, and then we will be doing the design build bid process, which takes several months. There's some environmental cleanup going on that will begin out there, and so it's a lot of moving parts, but it is proceeding. So we have some paving going on, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we will have paved the last street. We will have paved every single street in the city of Mulberry.
Wow.
So, and then we'll start again on going through them again, evaluating them. So,
I did see they are repainting our speed bumps right now, so I was a little excited about that this morning.
Absolutely. I think about every year or so they have to go back and put a fresh coat on some of the more highly traveled streets, like out here on Northeast 5th, and they like to do those more often so that people don't get caught by surprise.
Well, you don't realize until they start fading how much they kind of blend in. Mm-hmm. So if you don't drive the road every day, all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, speed bump.
Oh, it's funny because I do drive that road every day, and I still go, oh, speed bump. Found it.
Even though there's a warning sign.
There's literally a warning sign, but it's fine.
I love it. Thank you so much, Rick. We'll catch up with you in April then.
Okay, terrific. Thanks.
Perfect. Okay, Sarah.
Yes.
Are you ready for today?
I'm ready.
I am so excited for today. So today, I know we did an episode once where we focused on book to film. Mm-hmm. Today, we are binge watching.
Woohoo!
We are talking about TV shows.
Yes.
Yes. So all of our books that have been brought to our couch. I love this. It's my favorite genre.
I like that. Brought to your couch.
Well, so the reason I thought of this is because you guys know I'm a little obsessed with Daisy Jones and the Six. Mm-hmm. And at the time of this being released, I may have already watched the miniseries that will be airing on Amazon Prime. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And even preparing for it, I read the book, a year ago maybe? And I was obsessed with it because it just reads like a documentary. Then I found out they're doing the miniseries. Mm-hmm. So I waited till a little closer to the release date, and I decided that I was going to try the audiobook because I'd heard good things. Well, this audiobook is a full cast.
Oh.
I mean, every character has its own narrator. And they did a phenomenal job. So the one character, Daisy, is actually, she is voiced by Jennifer Beals, who is the woman who made Flashdance such a huge success. I love this actress. She's amazing. She did a great job. But I also believe one of the characters in the audiobook, I think is the author's husband. I think it's her real life husband. So I may have to do a little more research on that. So don't come at me if I'm incorrect. But I could have sworn I saw his name in the credits. And so I do have to double check that. But so in honor of Daisy Jones and the Six, I thought it would be really fun today to talk about some books that have been made into TV shows. So the first thing I wanted to do, though, is just give a quick shout out to fan favorites. Because let's be honest, Sarah, sometimes just because it's not for us doesn't mean it's not for the rest of the world.
True.
And that is okay.
Yes.
So there are a couple that I initially was thinking of when I started scribbling these out. Because I feel like every time we're at the desk and we're talking to people, they rave to us about these TV shows, and maybe sometimes they just didn't quite hit us the same way they're hitting other people.
Right.
So, like, my first one, for example, was Sweet Magnolias.
Okay.
And I know we kind of talked about that book series where, like, I finally learned how to read it just for what it is and stuff.
Yes.
But there was something about the show where it's like they changed the one friend so much that I just couldn't get over the fact a little bit that she was so different from the book. And I think for me, it almost fell into, like, we've talked about Divergent before, where they should have just let them be their own separate things.
Yes.
I actually think I would enjoy the TV show if it was just different from the book.
Okay.
Like, give it.
I haven't read the books, but I watched the first season.
Yeah.
I don't think they've come out. Maybe they have. Second season? I don't know.
I feel like there's 2 seasons, but I might be wrong on that.
Okay. Yeah. But I thoroughly enjoy the show.
Yeah.
But I haven't read the books.
See, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have any other ones you can think of that people mention us all the time?
Yes, but I think you're actually going to mention it.
No, go ahead.
So, okay, well, immediately, like, I thought of the show You.
Yes.
Which I know.
My husband and I struggled so hard with that one.
You guys only watched the first season, right?
We did, because I got to tell you, Sarah, stalking is not sexy. It's just not. This show was not for me.
Yeah, it's funny because I watched the first 2 seasons, and then I started reading the books because I didn't know that they were based off of books. And then someone was like, yeah, they're based off books. And I was like, what?
So you did it backward.
I did. And even though, like, for the most part, like, the books kind of followed each other until the show got ahead of the books.
Okay.
And then I was like, ugh.
Well, and people seriously love it, though, because isn't there, like, 4 seasons now?
There are, yes, they just came out
4.
with part 1 of season 4.
Okay.
But then I started reading the 3rd book, and then it hit a little too close to home.
Okay.
Because
is that the one that's with the librarian?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I said, and this is where it gets real creepy. So I had to stop reading it, and I think I pushed myself to finish season 2, and I tried watching season 3, and I just gave up.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't it anymore. I was like, and I've heard people have been really struggling with season 4. So I'm curious what other people think.
That's interesting, because I just always hear people how much they love it. I don't know. That's interesting. Well, the other one I had that people talk about all the time to me is Virgin River.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you end up watching it at all?
Listen, I tried.
Okay.
I found it... If you love it, that is fantastic. I found it very boring for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Gilmore Girls over and over.
Oh, Gilmore Girls.
Right?
But that's not a book. We can't talk about that today.
I know. So, but I couldn't. And I don't think I would enjoy reading it either.
Yeah. So I only read the first book. I did it for my book club. And, I mean, I thought it was sweet. Like, I can definitely see the appeal to the series. I totally understand why people love it. And I feel like this was another one, though, where there were just certain differences that it's like, why did they change it? I don't always understand the why behind it.
Yeah.
And so I was a little stuck on that, but people keep telling me how great the show is, so I'm like, I don't know if I should go back and try season 2, because I only did season 1.
How did you feel about season 1? Oh, because it was...
Yeah, there were differences. Like, the characters, you know, they weren't who I pictured from having read the book. And so I was just a little surprised by the way they were being portrayed in the TV series instead.
And aren't there, like, a lot of books in the book series?
There's so many. There's like 20-something.
Wow.
I know.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
So, did you have any other ones you wanted to mention for just the fan favorites?
No, because I want to pipe in with your next one.
Okay, guys, this is my last one. Don't come at me. Game of Thrones. I can't do it. I did it, and I can't do it. I did all of it.
You did do all of it.
I did all of it. Remember me coming in every morning? Mm-hmm. Exhausted.
Yeah.
Mentally exhausted.
I've been stuck on the same episode for 3 months.
I feel validated when you say that. Listen,
Season 2, episode 2.
Here's the thing. If you love it, no judgment from me. Go ahead and love it. I don't mind. Mm-hmm. It's totally fine. I watch all sorts of stuff that people would be like, why do you waste your time? But I love my teen dramas. I love my documentaries. Don't take them away from me. If you want your Game of Thrones, I'll be over in the corner watching Dawson's Creek, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. But I don't do a lot of science fiction and fantasy. So, like, I think that part was a little hard for me. But I physically struggle, like, with dark. So that sounds weird. I mean, like, when it's literally dark.
Yeah.
And so with all the sword fighting and stuff and the nighttime, all you would hear is the swords and the horse neighing. And I'm looking at the screen and it's so dark and I'm like, but I don't know what's happening.
Right.
What's going on?
And unless you turn every single light off in the house and it's dark outside,
it's
hard to watch.
And at one point, I think we were like maybe halfway through when I finally admitted to my husband that I had no idea what was going on because I couldn't understand half the things people were saying.
Yeah.
And so we started putting on subtitles. And then I was able to read it and I was sort of able to piece it together a little more, but it still didn't really change my feelings. I'll never rewatch it. I will say that.
Yeah, I got mad and somebody told me not to get attached to characters, but I feel like there was one really good character and they killed that character at the end of season 1 and I was like, bro, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, because I thought it was like the main character of the show.
Yeah. Well, here's what I will say. The good thing that came out of my time, is that when I got to go ahead and watch Wednesday, I was able to see one of the actresses on Wednesday and say, hey, it's the lady from Game of Thrones. So I at least have some trivia knowledge.
That's funny.
And that's fine.
But those books are huge too.
And they still get checked out every day.
Oh, yeah. They're huge. I'm curious of how.
Huge is in popular and huge is in like 1,000 pages.
Yeah. Like, it's not one that I could be laying in bed and reading because I'd probably drop it and it would hit my face.
Most people, when they check them out, they're always, can I get the maximum 6 weeks?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes, please. I love it. So, okay. So that was fan favorites. And again, we totally respect your love of any of these shows. So please, please, please don't take any offense to us joking around about them. So my next little section. So I divided this into sections for us.
Okay.
And I thought this would be kind of a fun one because, as I was saying before, where it's like they tried to keep it close to the book, but they do like weird changes that I don't always understand why. Mm-hmm. There's other books where they take a lot of liberties, but sometimes it works.
Yes.
So my first one is the one that you and I were talking about because I finally watched it.
Yes.
Bridgerton.
So good. Oh my gosh.
Listen, the first book I actually enjoyed. Remember, I was very surprised. Yeah. It made me laugh. It was entertaining. Mm-hmm. And I promised you because of that book that I was going to eventually get to the show.
Yeah.
And the first season followed that book really well. Mm-hmm. But the show was just so colorful. Mm-hmm. And even though it was meant to take place way back when, you have like the orchestra playing these like modern pieces of music that you know, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I know that song and it fits so well, and look at them dancing, olden style dancing to this song, and it was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And fun.
Fun fact, that music is what I do my homework to.
It's awesome.
Because I love having some kind of sound when I'm doing homework. So that's literally the playlist I listen to. I think I even called it like Bridgerton like playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I know it was like every time the orchestra would kick on and I'd be like, oh, I know that song.
Yeah. It's so good. Oh.
I mean, from the background scenery to the actors, like the casting, I mean, they really hit it with that one.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Well, and then the second season, because you read the second book?
I did. Now, the second season did not follow the book.
No.
It was very different. And I was like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, but I feel like it worked.
It did. I actually enjoyed some of the changes that they made more. I don't know what that sound just was. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
did you guys hear that?
Whoa. Oh, I think it was a bird.
Oh my gosh. A bird flew into the window, you guys. It's so horrifying.
I kept hearing it and I was like, what is happening?
I didn't know either.
Okay, so it's a bird.
Okay, so back to Bridgerton. Yeah, the book was very different from the show, and I actually appreciated some of the changes they made because some of the stuff happening in the book was bothering me a little bit while I was reading it.
Okay. I never finished the second book, I don't think.
Yeah. But now I'm at the point where I feel like I know enough about the book and Bridgerton where I can just enjoy the show for what it is and just keep them separate.
Yeah, and before season 3 comes out, I got to rewatch season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, so good.
The other one, I don't know if you ever watched this one, but did you ever watch Dexter?
I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes and I was like, ooh, this is a little much for me.
Yeah, this is not a show for everyone. And this has actually come up in my book clubs a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And it seems like people kind of fall into 2 categories on this one where you either love it or you hate it. Mm-hmm. I personally love it. But they did take a lot of liberties with this one too. So there are certain things that follow the book really well. Mm-hmm. So like that internal monologue and the dark humor and all that kind of stuff. But there's also a lot of changes that they made. But I think it actually helped the show be successful. I think they were changes that they sort of needed to make. So for instance, if you guys have ever watched it, the one character, Angel Batista, he was not as big in the books. But I think they needed him to help carry the TV show. And so even stuff like that, you know, and then in the first season, the serial killer that they're like trying to catch, I don't know, spoiler alert, fast forward 15 seconds if you don't want to hear it. But if I remember correctly, he actually survives in the book because he keeps coming back and like bothering Dexter. But in the TV show, gone. So like, there's definitely a lot of changes they made so that they could actually continue the TV show. Yeah. Okay. But they're fun books, too. I was really surprised. I think I ended up reading 4 of them. I don't remember how many are actually in the series, but they're entertaining, for sure. So.
I don't know. Maybe at some point I can revisit.
Yeah. Did you have any other ones listed for this category?
I think so. I think it fits in this. I thought of the Vampire Diaries, which I think I've mentioned before on the podcast episodes.
You have. I've never watched it, though.
So I read the first few books, and for the most part, it follows, but the same thing that happened with, like, the show You, is that the show, I think, was coming out faster than the books were.
Oh,
so
okay.
It had a lot of the same characters, but then I think, like, the show outlasted books, and so it was interesting. Now towards the end of it, I was like, I'm struggling.
Wow. That is interesting, though, to be doing both of them at the same time.
Yeah,
that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, like it's like, wow, you loved the book so much and you're willing to make it a show, but ooh, what about? And so I kind of that one though, I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
The other one I had in here, too, was The Handmaid's Tale.
That was a great book.
Yes, and the TV show is so well done, and there's a lot of things about it that are so, this is completely the book. But then it's like, the book literally is just a book, right? I mean, people have been like, write a follow-up, but we just have this one book. So, of course, the TV show had to kind of go off on its own because it was so successful. Yeah. I think they did a great job. I love the show.
I still haven't watched it.
Well, the author finally wrote that follow-up book.
Yeah.
So the Testaments came out, and that's like 20 years after Handmaid's Tale was written. Yeah. So people were finally like, yes. Well, the cool thing about it is it sort of came full circle. Because the audiobook is a full cast of narrators, kind of like Daisy Jones.
Okay.
And one of the narrators is actually the actress who is Aunt Lydia in the TV show.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun to hear her voice. So when you're familiar with the show, to end up listening to this audiobook and you hear her voice and you just really feel like you're in it now because you're so familiar with all these characters and stuff.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, it was really neat the way that they did it. So it was, like I said, it was kind of a full circle moment for me when I went through and listened to it. So, okay, are you ready for our next category?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, here it is. Name a show that is so spot on, it was scary. Do you have any for this one?
This sounds really bad because I actually haven't watched the show, but I've been told so many times.
Okay.
I think isn't a series of unfortunate events.
They did a good job with that.
Yeah, that was immediately, like, even though I haven't, because I watched the movie and I loved the movie, I still need to watch the show.
Well, and we talked about the movie during our movie episode, but I had only watched the TV show.
Right. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So I want to watch it, but as far as I can remember, I've been told it's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Maybe it was you.
It might, because my boys read the books and then we watched the show and they were just like, no, they did a really good job with this.
Yeah.
So even my kids were noticing how close it was. Yeah, that was a fun one. I have 2 written down. So my first one is Mindhunter. Did you end up watching this? Do you know this one?
I don't know that. I definitely thought that was like one of those ghost shows.
No. Okay, guys, this was wild. So you know how we've talked about this before. You guys know all this now, but like I love true crime and stuff. Well, Mindhunter was a book that was written, and it was the guy who started like the FBI profiling to like catch serial killers and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, that was the name of the book, was Mindhunter. So they made a TV show out of it. So the one actor in it is the actor who was on Glee and was also the king in the original Hamilton cast, Jonathan Goff. He's in it. So
Yeah.
just a little fun fact.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But yeah, they did such a good job with this TV show. Like my husband and I watched it and I was just all in. The actor who played Edmund Kemper was so realistic that I was just like, we can't watch the show tonight. We have to take a break. Like there was a couple times where I was just like, nope, I need a breather in between. Gotta watch a comedy before we go to bed. I mean, this show, I just absolutely loved it. I'm still hoping that they're going to be making another season of it because I just feel like it would be really interesting. But it's kind of fascinating. It's for people who, maybe if you're curious about how they catch criminals or looking into the mind of a serial killer. I don't know. It was a wild ride. I think they did a really good job with it. But my other one, a little bit lighter, I suppose, not necessarily, The Queen's Gambit. Did you watch that one?
No.
Okay. So this book is maybe barely 200 pages. And I think I talked about it once before. It was one of those ones where I didn't realize I cared about chess until I started reading it. And then listen, my kids can play chess and they're pretty good at it. Once I started playing them, I realized that I knew nothing about chess. This show was only 7 episodes. So like the book, very short. It was quick, but it was so well done. And I did double check. There's no plans for a second season. So I'm kind of grateful. I think that the way they did it was exactly what it needed. I don't think it needs to be like drawn out into something else. So I actually appreciate that they kept true to the book. No risk going off the deep end or anything like that.
Right.
But part of the book is her internally playing these like chess games. And so the way they showed that in the TV show was so creative and beautifully done. I absolutely loved it. I really, it's a great example of a book to a TV series.
I remember you just raving about it.
Yeah.
When it came out, and because the book is not that long.
It's not. It's barely 200 pages, I think.
Yeah. Wow. The fact that they were able to make a whole show out of that.
Yes.
Thoroughly impressed.
Yeah. It was beautiful. So, did you have any other ones for that, or do you want to skip ahead to the next one?
No. I can't talk. I don't think for that one.
Okay. If you guys have any, I want to know because this is like my favorite thing. Okay. Here's my next one. Loved it, but full disclosure, we haven't read the book yet. Do you have any for this?
Yes.
This was a long list for me. I was like, oh no, and I read all the time.
And there's so many. Like, a lot of the ones that you've mentioned, I haven't, like, read.
Okay.
But I also haven't watched. But actually, the show isn't even on anymore, but it's The 100. It was a CW show. I didn't know it was based off like a book series. And it is, and I actually think I have the first book.
Oh, I never read it.
I still haven't read it. But I actually never finished the show. I still need to. But it's one of those ones I think I'm going to have to start over from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember everything that happened.
I never watched the show either. It's a young adult book, right?
Yeah.
Young adult?
I think so. I mean, I would assume.
I feel like I can picture the cover.
Yeah.
And I can picture the like advertisement on my TV. Yeah. But I feel like it might be in the teen room.
Well, and I'm not used to like the CW actually doing shows like that. So, I mean, even though like there's like the Flash and Arrow, and I think those are based off comic books, but Yeah. I didn't realize that those, you know.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, there was 2 of my favorite TV shows, and I've never read the books for them.
Okay.
Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
Which, here's the thing about this one. Aside from Piper's name, I've actually been told by a few people that this show took, like, super duper tons of liberties and just kind of rolled with it and just created a TV show.
Yeah.
Which I would totally believe, because there was a lot of seasons of it. So
yeah, there were, right?
Yeah, and I think once I was into the TV show and I was into like season 3, I kind of lost my urge to even read the book, because I just figured at this point I either assume I know the story, or it's going to be nothing like the TV show anyway, so it's not going to be what I'm hoping for or what I'm looking for. So I don't really know if I'll ever read the book.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones that was in my pile for a long time, like just kind of in the back of my head, and I've just never picked it up.
Maybe that's okay.
Yeah. But the other one, my husband actually told me not to read it because I love the show so much. Mm-hmm. But again, this author is super popular for his science fiction, fantasy kind of stuff, which is just not my normal genre. And so he said that I might not appreciate the book as much as he did, because he did read the book.
Okay.
It's Good Omens by Neil Gaiman. And who is it? Terry Pratchett, I think, they co-authored it.
I think my brother watched it.
It is so fun. Yeah. And I was sold immediately because it's David Tennant, and I just adore him. So I was in right away. But it's fun. It's entertaining. Maybe it was the British comedy. I do love some good, well-written British comedy. But when I asked my husband, like I said, about the book, he just was pretty honest with me, where he's like, I just don't think you would appreciate the book as much. Yeah. So, because he's read a lot of Neil Gaiman, and I think our one son also has enjoyed a couple of his books too, but they both prefer that genre.
Valid.
Yeah. So, and the rumor is there is supposed to be a season 2 coming out this summer, 2023.
Because wasn't it a while?
It's been a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm really hopeful.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you have any other ones for that one?
No.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I totally just Googled a list.
Oh,
and
did
I
you
was
really?
like, there are so many books I have not read that go with shows, but also I'm not like interested in them, which sounds bad. But yeah, I'm just not.
Well, are you currently watching anything that is maybe a book to TV series?
Well, I'm watching shows, but I guess at some point I will get back into Game of Thrones. Okay. So that's something for my dad and I to bond over. So I'm trying. Yeah. But it's hard. It's hard. So everyone's like, no, it gets better. And I'm like, that's what they say for everything.
Yeah, that's what they kept telling me. Some of our friends were so mad at me.
She goes, that's what they kept telling me, but it never got better. And I feel like we have similar taste in things. Mm-hmm. So there are a couple that I probably want to read and watch. I do really want to do Daisy Jones and the Six, so maybe I'll do the audiobook for that. Okay. So before I watch it. Mm-hmm. So
I think you'll like the audiobook.
Yeah, and that's Taylor Jenkins Reid, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good job. I've trained you. It's so good. So good.
Yeah. So no, I'm totally watching That's So Raven right now.
Oh, you're adorable.
So just feel good. It's kind of hard during school. So
that's okay. You need a mind break.
Yeah.
That's good for you.
But what are you?
We started Pachinko.
Oh.
Did you know they made that into a TV show?
No.
Surprise. So, I love this book. Mm-hmm. My book club loved this book. None of us expected to. We were surprised by it. There are some differences, but I think the main one is not necessarily that they changed something from the book, like content-wise, but they changed the setup. Mm-hmm. So in the book, you start at the fishing village at the beginning, and then you follow the generations forward. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the TV show, the way they have it, it's bouncing back and forth. Oh, so sometimes you're, at the beginning in the fishing village, and then all of a sudden it's 1983, and so you really have to be paying attention to the time period and the character that you're actually following. Yeah. Because sometimes maybe they're a kid and then they're an old lady. So that took a minute to get used to, but then once we were sort of into that, it's very enjoyable. I really like it so far, so I'm curious to see how it ends. Yeah. And if nothing else, you should Google the intro for it, because it's just all of the characters in the middle of a pachinko parlor, and they're dancing to like a current song.
Oh.
It's kind of fun. I'm like, how does this fit at all?
The math's not
why
mathing.
do I love it? Yeah, the math's not mathing, but like I loved it. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm curious why they chose to do that way, but I liked it. So, and we're only, 3 episodes in? So it's still new. We just started it last week.
Okay.
So, but I'm really enjoying it. So that's my currently watching. So, okay. Do you want to do books we wish they would bring to the screen?
So many.
I know.
So many.
I narrowed my list down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think I have one that I'm thinking of right now, and I had another one, and I just lost it.
Uh-oh.
But maybe while we're
maybe it's on my list.
Oh, no, there's 2. No, I remember the 2. Okay,
go ahead.
Oh, we have said this a million times, and you can't see it, but my hands are being super...
She is. Don't hit the microphone.
Super. Whatcha? Just kidding. But it's not, I don't think it's on your list. But All the Missing Girls.
Oh, yeah.
All the Missing Girls.
That would be a fun TV show.
I need it. Just one season. I could just do a quick, as a miniseries, just one.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's an HBO special. I don't care if it's Amazon Prime, but just let Megan Miranda be a part of it. Mm-hmm. All the Missing Girls. That's all I want in life, guys. Just kidding. It's not all I want, but it's one of the top things. So I immediately thought of that one. And the other one that I thought of, even though the book wasn't my favorite, I think I still gave it 4 stars, but the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Oh.
I feel like that would be fun. Each episode could be a husband.
Yes.
It
could be a mini-series, just like Daisy Jones.
Make it 8 episodes. Yeah, just do that with all of Taylor Jenkins Reid stuff and we'll be all right.
You could totally do that. And then the actor who plays the one guy could be in all of them.
There you go.
Because he shows up everywhere.
There you go. Yep.
I love it.
Okay, what about you?
So one of them that I was thinking of is Home Before Dark.
Ooh.
The Riley Sager one.
Oh, that's my favorite one by him.
I went to Google to make sure that it's not in the works, just in case. And there is something called Home Before Dark. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's not this book.
Oh,
so,
man.
With the whole, it would be a fun miniseries. You got the potentially haunted house. Like if you do good casting, I mean, this old Victorian home.
Yes.
Like I know there's already some stuff out there that's like that, but
not that.
I think that would be fun. Yeah. And then in terms of another potential, is it a ghost story or is it not? Mm-hmm. The Sundown Motel.
Yes.
I really. So I thought that maybe it was coming, but then I couldn't find it. But then there was something where 2021 it said it was being adapted into something, but then there's no updates. So I'm like, will they, won't they?
That's how the selection is.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, but it wasn't going to be a show. It was going to be a movie.
So this is us saying we need it.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, but here's my big one.
Okay.
Do you remember the book I read, The 100 Years of Lenny and Margot? Do you remember me reading that one? It had this beautiful cover with the flowers on the front.
Maybe.
The premise of the story is there's these 2 women and they are both in a hospital. They're both terminally ill. The one though is an older woman, mm-hmm. and the other one is a younger woman.
Okay.
But their age adds up to 100. Hence the 100 years of.
I like that.
So here you are in the hospital, there's an art class, there's things that this older generation and the younger generation each get to teach each other, the friendship between them. I just think if they did it right, that it could be a really beautiful, beautiful TV show.
Yeah. I
really do. Kind of a drama, friendship, that kind of thing. And quite frankly, wait, I forget which one's the older one now. I just mixed up their names. But anyway.
It's okay.
There is a beautiful generation of actresses out there that could so easily do such justice to that character, and I would love to see it.
Make it happen, please.
I know. I would love it. And then my last one that would be a comfort one, because I think maybe that's why I tried Sweet Magnolias and Virgin River originally, is that I was looking for just some comfort TV, know? Yeah. The Abby Jimenez series.
Oh, please.
Because if you think about it, each of those books could be its own season. Yes. So you could do 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Right? And you could have a like whole new cast each season, but then just have that crossover. So like the couple that you're following from season 1,
Yes.
maybe they just show up in a scene or something, or like one episode.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like tie the seasons together without the season being about them.
Well, is she making a 4th one for that too? Or no?
That I don't know.
And maybe I'm thinking of the 3rd one, but thinking it's the 4th one.
Yeah, because there's 3 books in the one series, and then I did start her other one, which is going to be like a whole new series. So she's got a couple different ones. But I feel like that might be like some good comfort TV.
Yeah.
So those are mine. I'm not going to go through my whole list. But if Grady Hendrix wants to turn anything into a TV show, I'd watch that too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Could you imagine the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires as a TV show?
I never read it.
It would be pretty funny.
Yeah, but I know that I know you loved it.
Okay, do you want to know what I learned while prepping my list that is actually set to be filmed?
Ooh, yes.
So I was thinking this would be such a great TV show. Come to find out, it's actually going to be a movie.
Oh, okay.
And there's 3 of them. So the first one is The Midnight Library.
Okay.
I did not know they were making it into a movie. The next one is The Guncle.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you remember? That book was really sweet.
I remember when you did it. You did it for book club, right?
No, I read that one on my own.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah. But it was really sweet. It basically, this guy loves his niece and nephew from a distance, but there's like a unexpected family tragedy, so the niece and nephew have to come live with him.
Okay.
And so it's just sort of a story about like family and unconditional love and taking care of each other, and it's really, really sweet. But apparently it's going to be a movie.
Oh, okay.
And then my last one, because my book club, we were like, this would be a great TV show. Mm-hmm. The Maid.
Oh, you guys just read that.
We did. The Maid is set to be a movie in 2024.
Oh, fun.
So we'll see how that goes. Okay. Books in the works that we just cannot wait to watch.
Hit me.
I've got 2. One of them is actually currently being released on Apple TV, but I'm waiting to make sure all the episodes are out before I watch it.
I don't blame you.
Because I got to binge. I can't just take my time. They made Dear Edward into a TV show.
Oh.
I had no idea.
I didn't know that either.
So this book was a surprise to me when I read it. What was it, like a year or 2 ago? I picked it up, just accident, getting ready for the weekend, realized I didn't have any books at home, so I grabbed it.
Yeah.
And the premise was really interesting because there was a plane crash and this teenager was the only survivor. And so he goes to live with his aunt and stuff, and he befriends like a neighbor. And so the book itself was kind of all about family, friendship, learning how to grieve, that kind of stuff. But it was really well done, and it surprised me, and I had no idea they made it into a TV show.
Oh, how cool.
But here's the one I've been waiting on, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Lessons in Chemistry is going to be a TV show.
I've really been debating if I want to read it.
It is so good.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so I should read it.
Listen, this was my favorite book of 2022.
Wow.
I really thought about it on New Year's Eve. I looked through my Goodreads and I considered it, and I finally officially posted it in my Instagram that night.
Oh, you did?
As my favorite book of the year. Wow. And a couple people wrote me. They were like, oh my gosh, I'm on the hold list for it, or I loved it. And a couple of patrons that I had read it, they have still been mentioning it to me like months later now. And it just has really stuck with all of us. So I cannot wait to watch this TV show.
I'll definitely have to read it before I watch it.
Yeah, it was so good. But did you have any other ones that we missed that you want to mention?
I have one that was made into, it was a book that was made into a TV show, and I tried watching it and I hated it. And not because it like swayed far from the book, because I think I was talking to our director about it, and she was like, but it's not that different from the book. I don't know, I had different expectations. Firefly Lane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I don't know, because I do like Katherine Heigl as an actress. I don't know if she bothered me in the show. I really don't know what it was, but I just watched it because I read it as a teenager and I loved it so much. And it just didn't do the same thing for me.
Well, here was my thing with it, because I did watch the first season.
Did you?
I did not find the characters in the TV show to be as likable as I did in the book.
Maybe that's what it is.
I was struggling to like empathize with them for some reason in the TV show.
Yeah, and
I'm not sure why.
I would see my mom watching it, and I would watch a couple minutes of it and just go, oh, and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the last one I had to add.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Meh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, what are you reading now?
So I feel like I took a little break from contemporary romance, but now I kind of want to jump back in a little bit. So
Okay.
I am reading The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. Not Leary. I don't know. It'll be in the show notes. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's cool. So, but it's about two exes who reach a new level of awkward when forced to take a road trip together. So, and it's supposed to be humorous. It's supposed to be a good time. So I'm very curious, but I don't think their like friends know that are also with them. So I'm very curious of how it's going to play out.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I am going to throw this one out there. Jobs for Girls with Artistic Flair by June Gervais.
Oh.
This was not in the Polk County system. I had to do an interlibrary loan to get it.
Okay.
And I loved it. And I bugged our director, and rumor has it she is ordering it. So it should be on the shelves soon. I absolutely love this. It was, I'm a sucker for debut. I love a debut novel.
Yes.
This takes place in the 80s, so 1985. Check. I love the 80s. It deals with tattoos. Takes like the main premise is in a tattoo parlor. This girl decides that she wants to be a tattoo artist like her brother, but her brother wants her to go do something different with her life. And so it's her trying to prove to him that this is where she's meant to be. The book itself has just the right amount of illustrations. So like sometimes at the beginning of a couple chapters, there'd be like a little drawing of a tattoo.
Ooh,
So
cool.
not overdone.
Yeah.
Just a little hint just to really keep that like flavor in the book. But it's got, siblings and family drama. It's got, it shows that like unconditional love too of families. Like, so no matter how messed up your family might be, you still love them. They are your family.
Yes.
So like that little bit of drama, life is not perfect, but let's not pretend it is. But it's also a coming of age story. I'm a sucker for a good coming of age story. It's got quirky characters. There's like a couple tarot cards in there. But I also love one of the characters is this guy, Rick, who works in the tattoo shop. And he's kind of always watching out for our main character. Like he's sort of always just looking out. And he has a lot of... he's a surprise.
Okay.
You assume he's this one person, and then there's like a whole scene later in the book where you just realize that there's so much more to him and what an amazing guy he is. And so that was kind of really fantastic too. And I'm curious to see what she'll write next, but also I wanted to use it for this episode because I think this would be beautiful on the screen as well. If they ever decided to do a TV show with this one.
Yeah.
I think this author did a really great job, and a couple of my friends read it with me, and we all were surprised by it, and we were like, it was just a comforting read, and like every one of us without hesitation, we were like, oh, it was like a 5-star book. Like it was exactly what I needed when I needed it, and I loved it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that was mine. But all right, well, do you want to tell them where they can find us if they have any TV shows that we need to check out?
Yes, and please, if you have any recommendations, please let us know because we are always willing to read and watch whatever. We will, both of us, I feel like, will try anything once.
Pretty much.
At least one episode.
Yes.
Sometimes 2. Yeah, maybe. Not Game of Thrones. Don't say that. Just kidding. You guys can reach us at themulberrylibrary@gmail.com if you have any suggestions, any comments. If you feel the same way that we did about a show, let us know because, friends. We're friends.
Absolutely.
We can do that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. And as always, happy reading and happy watching, Mulberry.